This is going to be yet another very quick video because we are seconds away from all of this falling apart even more. And I do apologize if you do end up hearing the AC in the back. It is 35 degrees today, and then we have 3 consecutive days of 37 degrees, and the lights make it warmer. Who would have thought? Today I wanted to record a video of all of the Hoyas that I have in my collection that have prominent veining, because those are very popular among Hoya growers, and I think a lot of them do look nice. But then I thought, why do that? Why not show some Hoyas that I think are beautiful, that I think are gorgeous, but I also think are underappreciated? That is the official story. The true story is I have a lot of Hoyas that have veiny leaves, and I decided that I just cannot take them all out from the tents and the cabinets, and this is what you get. That's the unofficial version that you did not hear. I do believe we have 6 Hoyas today. I wanted to go for 5, but I just had to show 6 of them. All of these Hoyas I do think you know, and I do think I mentioned them at least a little bit in the past, except maybe one. I just thought that I would spotlight these Hoyas today because I do believe they are worthy addition to your Hoya collection. All of these Hoyas but one bloomed for me, and that one, I don't think she's gonna bloom anytime soon. What I hear is that she is pretty rare to bloom in cultivation, but that's fine. She has wonderful leaves, and that is actually why I wanted to show you this plant. We have 2 of them in bloom today. 2 of them are on the verge of blooming, but of course they are not blooming today because why would they all align with my plans? I told you in one of my previous videos that they are rude. That is just rude behavior. The first Hoya I want to show to you is Hoya exilis, and this is hands down one of my favorite Hoyas. She is on the verge of blooming, but she is also a very, very frequent bloomer. You can see here that we do have that one peduncle with many buds, but this Hoya is about 1 year old. I got one cutting from Basie and one cutting from Edita from Hoya Passion. Basie sent a cutting of it by mistake. She did not realize that I already had this plant, but she has grown so much in a year. Unlike me, she does enjoy warm weather. She seems to really want to bloom a lot then. I actually can see that we have a couple of buds openings. Maybe by the end of the video we will see flowers in bloom, which would be great. Thank you for showing up almost. If you can hurry up, we would be grateful. This Hoya comes from New Guinea, and while it is not a recent discovery, I don't think she was part of the collections for a very long time, so I think maybe she was rediscovered. This is something that I should definitely look into, and if you would like a highlight video on Hoya exilis, let me know, and then maybe we can dig out all of that information, because I do like to do that, and you know, just having to do a video is a bit of an incentive there. This is a pretty easy Hoya to care for, in my opinion. It's not the cheapest, but I think she is much easier to find now versus last year, and especially the year before that. I think a lot of people have gotten a cutting of this plant and they saw how quickly she grows, and you know, they're willing now to share a cutting from their plant. It is a thin-leaved Hoya, but I do love the leaves. When they come in, you can kind of see there on the top, perhaps. I actually do not see what I'm doing. Where is the top? They do appear sort of bronze, and as they grow they will slowly turn to this goldenish green, and then they will turn to full green. The mature leaves do look quite plain, but I actually like this look a lot. I think this is just also wonderful because it's quite compact Hoya. This is a 12 centimeter pot, and I think this trellis is maybe about 40 centimeters, and you know, she has filled out a lot of this trellis, but I keep trellising her in hoops. She's just an excellent grower. I think more Hoyas should grow like this, should be easy to flower like this, and should look so compact. I do love the big-leaved Hoyas, don't get me wrong, but you can have so much space for big-leaved Hoyas, so I do appreciate when we have something that is so compact and so willing to bloom. But I don't see a lot of people talking about this Hoya. I don't know, are people not interested? Do people not care about the flower? I think the flowers look very beautiful. They have that sort of translucent quality to them, and they smell like honey and like propolis. Wonderful, wonderful smell, and I think you should have it, especially if you can find it easily and it's not too expensive. Don't hesitate. It is a Hoya that will do really well in a warm home, I would say. And I grow mine in pon, as you can see, in a self-watering pot. And this is a Hoya that would like to be kept well watered. I did underwater her a couple of times and it looked dramatic, but she also recovered very, very quickly. And as you can see, she just shoots growth everywhere, so it's not a big deal. This is Hoya siamica, and this Hoya comes from China. Now, this Hoya is, I think, about a year old. I think I might have shown it to you last March, question mark, or April. I'm not really sure, but I think she is a year old, and in the beginning she did grow okay. I used to grow this in my grow tent as a hanging plant, but she wasn't really putting out so many leaves, and I do think she does want to climb around something. She wants to be trellised, and since I put her on a trellis, she has been much more consistent in putting out leaves. I did take a couple of cuttings of this Hoya recently, one for my friend Farah and for my friend Julie Kennedy. And actually it was Julie that told me that this is quite difficult to find. It seems that a lot of plants are sold under the name siamica and they are not. This does seem to match according to the leaves, but this plant again did not bloom. And that is actually how I found out that she's pretty difficult to bloom because, you know, Julie told me. The reason why I love this plant so much, aside from the flower, which we do hope we will see, is because of these beautiful leaves. They're very, very interesting. They have like sunk in nervature, which I don't really know how well you will be able to see on my camera, but I will definitely show you in some B-roll. I know this is very subtle, but I do actually like these subtle things versus, you know, the big flashy veins, which sounds very inappropriate, but this is also like 18 plus channel. You know, no one is young here. Where was I? Yes, I like the subtlety. I do like the subtlety of the leaves. Listen, I think she is gorgeous and the flower is very, very beautiful. I do hope she blooms. I would say she is a quick grower. She does tend to put out these long vines and you do have to wait a bit for the leaves, but they do eventually come if she is trellised, or so has been my experience. She is also in self-watering in pond and I grow it in my Millsbo cabinet. We are not going to repot her even though she has a lot of roots here. And I think the reason she's also growing a little bit better now is because she is not so underwatered. She was quite underwatered in my grow tent when she was not in self-watering because, you know, it's me. I do think you need to add this to your collection if you can find it. I really don't think anyone would be disappointed with these leaves. And I definitely do not hear anyone talking about this plant, which I really don't understand because she is gorgeous. The next plant I have here is Hoya cutis-porcelana, and I gotta tell you, this is one of my favorites. The other day I was talking with Basie and she told me she hates this plant. And I just don't understand it. She is really one of my favorites. The leaves are nice. They don't look so great for me when they're sun stressed, but also I was, you know, she was in the grow tent, so it was probably a bit too much of light. And she's actually growing much faster now in slightly lower light, or as most people would say, normal light. But she has bloomed many, many times and she's a very, very frequent bloomer, just like Hoya exilis. It did bloom very early on, I would say several months after I have gotten it, and I actually do have it here on the tag. We got it in May of 2022, and this plant was an import from a certain nursery that I don't get great plants from, so she actually did need some time to recover, but she did really, really well, much better than the rest of the plants. And you can see here the flower. I do think the flower is quite unique. It is very, very beautiful. I just love the shape of the corolla and I love how dark red the corona is. The flowers are sometimes a little bit lighter. I think this peduncle was growing closer to the light, so you can see they're more pink towards the edges of the corolla there. And this Hoya comes from the Philippines. Very, very easy to grow. Also in self-watering, does not seem to make a massive root system. And also if you would like some additional info, I could make a highlight video because she does bloom very, very frequently. I think she's easy to find, very easy to grow. And I mean, why wouldn't you want such a cutie in your collection? And I don't think the leaves are boring either. I just think Basie is wrong. Basie, you're wrong. I really wasn't sure if I was gonna show you this plant, but then I thought really not many people talk about it. There are a couple of videos out there, but I just really think she deserves more hype. And this is Hoya chinghungensis from China. She is 1 year old as well, and considering how little I water, I'm surprised she's alive. And you can see here we have flowers. Similar to Hoya Bella, but they are definitely different. They're smaller than Hoya Bella, if I remember my comparison well. I do think they're cuter. It is a Hoya that does like to be in a hanging pot, and I think she looks best like this in a hanging pot, or maybe if you have like a grow wall. She does make this lovely cascading structure form, whatever you want to call it. I do find this to be a pretty resilient Hoya, but she is also quite thirsty for me. Some people have said that they don't experience that. You know, I think it's because I have a lot of perlite in my mix. I now see there is some bark, even though I said I was not going to use any bark for this one again. Clearly something has changed in my head. She will be able to take underwatering, but sometimes you might lose a couple of leaves. And sometimes spider mites do attack her, but she is, again, pretty resilient. I don't find that they actually put a stop to her growth. It's not like with some other Hoyas when they have mites, they will stop growing, it will be dramatic. That's not the case with this one. If you like something like Hoya Bella, I do think you will love Hoya chinghungensis. In my opinion, she is a better choice than Hoya Bella, and certainly a better choice than Hoya engleriana. I just love her so much more. And it's very easy to find, I would say, very easy to grow, suitable for overwaterers. If you're underwater, I would recommend a pot like this. This does have drainage, this can be removed, but I don't remove it because, you know, no one wants to be watering several times a week. Right now, I do water her once a week, if I remember, and that is not very often. In the past, she definitely needed a whole lot more water, but as they grow up, they will also become more resilient, I find. But just a very beautiful Hoya, and I just had to show it because I don't see a lot of appreciation for Hoya chinghungensis, and I don't think that's fair. I think she's much more interesting than variegated Hoyas. Such a unique look, in my opinion. And I do sort of want more. But I have one, I don't need more plants. But I also kind of want it coming out from every corner. The next plant is still unidentified species, and it comes from Philippines, and it is Hoya species Rindu Rafflesia. And this Hoya is just beautiful. I got my plant as a cutting from Peter, from one of the subscribers from Germany. In the beginning, I didn't struggle with it. It's just that I didn't water it enough. I assume because she does have these semi-thick leaves that she can take underwatering, and maybe I took the underwatering too far. She's grown a lot. She's wrapped around multiple times, but as you can see, a lot of those do not have the leaves. And I've been contemplating about cutting it and making a bushier plant and share the cuttings of this plant as well. But I just don't want to. She's so beautiful and she blooms so frequently. Not every month, but maybe every other month. We do have a lot of new leaves coming in. Maybe Peter can chime in the comments what his plant looks like. I don't think that I did the best job. I definitely think I have underwatered her quite a bit. We all make mistakes, is all I have to say. The flowers are absolutely gorgeous. They are yellow flowers with like a purplish corona. They're one of my favorite flowers, and this is one of my favorite plants from all of my plants. The leaves are beautiful, very long. Clearly some of them have been exposed to higher light, so they're not so long, but you can see how gorgeous that is with this prominent veining. Very unique plant, and I do think I should restart it. I don't know if any of you are like this. I sometimes see a growth pattern that I'm not quite so sure about. Maybe we'll have lost a lot of baby leaves. And I have this urge to restart a plant, but I probably shouldn't. But also I do not have the space to restart them, and this is clearly a tangent from which I must return now. If you can find this plant, I definitely would recommend getting it. It is worth every penny, and I actually don't see her quite frequently for sale. I don't know why. Do people not like this plant? I don't understand. I don't see many people talk about it either. Maybe it's not so special to other people, but I really think she is quite something. The last plant I want to show you is something that I had quite a big change of heart with. And the reason for that is because it simply did not grow well for me. It was hanging in my room, and maybe I didn't water it enough. Maybe it was a bit too dry, but as soon as I took it down, I trellised it and I put it in one of my grow tents. It started to thrive. And this is Hoya benguetensis, also another Hoya from Philippines. She is also on the verge of blooming, and she did grow up quite a lot. since I took it down. I actually do have to cut it several months ago. Someone asked for a cutting, so this is gonna go. But this Hoya blooms now so frequently. You can see we have a peduncle here with buds. We have one right here and another one here, and they're probably going to be open at the same time. And it's just such a beautiful Hoya. I actually really love these long leaves. I'm really a fan of long and narrow leaves that have veining. I think they look very beautiful. I know it is not the most jaw-dropping look, but I really had a big change of heart here with this plant. And she's so easy to grow if you give her enough water and humidity. I do think humidity is a bit important for this one. Maybe someone can chime in, but from my experience, she really took off once I put her in the grow tent. And honestly, I would always want to have it in my collection. I've been thinking recently about Hoyas that I can kind of let go of. There are a lot of them, and there are more of Hoyas coming. And I have a lot of Finlaysoni clones, and I'm trying to kind of make a selection here. And this is a plant I said in the past I want to get rid of. That is not only untrue right now, it is so far from the truth, because very beautiful. And I don't know if my clone is different than any others. The flowers on my clone get very red. Not the deepest red, but you know, compared to some other photos that I have seen, they're definitely darker, very beautiful. They produce a lot of nectar though. I don't find it such a big issue like with Hoya Carry or with some other Hoyas, maybe because it's in tent. They look like candy to me, and I love to see it in bloom. So I'm definitely very happy I kept this Hoya. Again, I don't hear many people talk about it, maybe because it's so widespread, it's quite cheap, not difficult to find, so maybe that's why people are not so interested. But I don't know, in my opinion, it is a Hoya that I would always like to have. I think compared to so many Finlaysoni clones that I have, and I will just include Calistophylla in there because that plant might be revised very soon. And so many crosses that I have that, you know, do have Finlaysoni or Calistophylla in them. And then there's Hoya clemenciorum. It's just so many that are the same and the same flower, and it's wonderful when you have this variety. All right, that is all for today. Let me check if Hoya exilis open. Where are you? No, but she's definitely opening. We can see that. Let's try and break the peduncle, please. You can see she's opening there. Okay, well, I will allow a thumbnail tomorrow when you are fully open, because I think you deserve to be on the thumbnail. So let me know if you would like to see a highlight video on Hoya exilis. I could make a highlight video on Hoya benguetensis and on Hoya cutis-porcelana. I really have enough material to make another 30 days of Hoya, but I cannot. I'm so sorry. I know a lot of people have wanted this, and I tried to do it via the shorts, but there's not enough time to say things. My hair, no, stop choking me. There's not enough time in a reel to say everything I want to say, and then there's this issue with YouTube. If you constantly put out videos, which I clearly do, despite trying very hard not to, my videos are always 15 to 30 minutes long, and if you start putting out videos that are like 10 minutes long or 5 minutes long, it's gonna be a mess. I'm not really sure what to do with that. Ooh, you know what we could do? Let me know if you would like this, like blooms of the month, or Hoyas that bloom this month. That's not a very good title, is it? I'll have to think about this. I'm trying to think of a way how I can bring back these highlights without it being like a highlight on the species that lasts for 30 minutes where I, you know, do these deep dives, which are very fun. But sometimes the swimming pool is shallow, you know, and you try to do a deep dive and you crack your head. That's a horrible analogy. But all I'm trying to say is sometimes there is just not enough things to say about a Hoya to make for like a 15-minute video. I don't know why I'm asking people. This is my job. I'm supposed to think of like the content stuff. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you don't like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, because I record in 35 degrees of Celsius and I want some respect. Respect. Took a lot. I have like a wet towel next to me. Thank goodness for the editing. No one can see me just wiping my face down. It is awfully hot. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'm committed and I, you know, film during the heat waves. Is that a good enough reason? It's fun time. It's fun time as well. It's fun time as well. I will see you very soon in the next video. Have a wonderful weekend, and we're gonna go and continue melting. That's all I have to say. Cut! Why do I not have people recording for me? It's because YouTube does not bring enough money. I would like to take some time to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons. My 3 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Anne-Margaret Moon, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, Anne C, Ashley Hoyas, Beth Gibson, Betsy, Catherine Molina, Daniela, Danube Daniels, Daria Kaminska, Diane Sikorsky, Dipanjali Rao, Farah, Gina K, Gina Geisen, Go Green Tropical, Heather Uppingham, Hoji Scott, Houseplant Heather, Hoya Heather, Yana Griffin, Jessica Chio, Yovan Denot, Kara, Casey Gross, Kelly Koo, Kelso, Kiwi Mochi, Kristen Sherwood, LePlan de Steph, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Marcelina Novosatsky, Maria West, Maris B, Martina Alif Berde, Marty Miller, Mary Rose, Melissa Walker, Michael Curley, Michelle Heron, Nicole Ferranti, Moa Edmond, Nelly Yang, Niha Basu, Nicole Moreau, Nicole and Caleb of Sleep Tropicals, Nina Nguyen, Nita Macy, PJ, Plant Druid, Planting with Nat, Rachel Peterson, Robin L. Jennings, Robin Roos, Salom Adal, Sandra Cornelius, Sherry Kumar, Stephanie H2O, Sybil Williams, Tanya Tessa Martins, Tristan Thomas, The One True Kyle, Tia B, TJWO, Trista Bailey, Wendy Foreman, Wendy Rossman, Xenia Green, Youth of the Walla, Mudzardarama, and Zlatko Nipani. A big thank you to my $3 patrons: Andy H, Angelina Farnan, Anna K, Brenda Little, Brana Phillips, Colleen Coyle, Levi Constance, Kelon Claudia L, Erin Keenan, Catherine Parsons, Lindsay, Lisa Helling, Morgan Kennedy, Nella Plantolenia Ringlov, and Tang Watanasria Cool. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: Kari, Christina Greengrass, Couture Helvetica, Eda W, Amelia Bronson, Joanna Pearson, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Varra, Kelly Ash, Chris Perez, Lauren M, Lori Ann Subramaniam, Luzman Fernandez, Neely Spicer, and Olivia Chinmuller.